Okay, first things first, taking off. It's pretty simple, but you might want to make yourself a checklist. So first, main battery on, auxiliary power on, and then engines 1 and 2 on. After that, you want to close the canopy so you don't have to listen to that racket. And from now on, you never have to worry about that panel again. You can ignore that. Right, next, you want to go all your main screens on, RWR on, fuel information on, then HUD, HMCS, and radar is optional at this point, but I usually turn it on anyway. Right, and now you're good to go. So next off, brakes off, and throttle forward just very gently to begin taxiing. Now you'll be using most likely the same binding for your rudder that you will to move left and right on the runway. So for me, I've got it on foot pedals. You might not, but that's fine. You want to keep the throttle very low and be quite gentle with your rudder movements, otherwise you could quite easily tip the plane over. Okay, once you're on the runway, you want to go flaps to stage 1. Get ready on the stick and simply throttle up to full. Now you'll want to tip the stick back slightly. Don't tilt back too far, otherwise you're likely to nose up too much and stall on takeoff. And there you go, as soon as you're off the ground, level out. About 10 degrees is pretty good.
Landing gear.
Landing gear up. And then now that you've been off about 10 seconds or so, you can go flaps back to neutral. And there you go, you're off the ground. Simple. Okay, so the first weapon type we're going to be talking about are air-to-air missiles. Now you've got two main types of air-to-air missiles. You've got your short-range heat-seeking missiles, such as the AIM-9s, and you've got your long-range radar-guided missiles, such as the AIM-120. And first, we're going to be talking about the long-range radar-guided missiles. Now, first thing you want to do is, obviously, master arming switch on. Switch over to your AIM-120s. Now, radar on, switch one of your screens to radar, and you will see, okay, no targets at the moment, so I'll increase range. There we go. Target just off to the right. Looks like about 15 kilometers out. Alright, what you want to do here is set the radar screen to be your sensor of interest using this button. That allows you to navigate the screen using the thumbstick on the joystick. So navigate over to the target, click the stick in, click it again to lock, and there you go, we've got the target ahead. Now you'll see the green square over the target and a dot in front of the target. What we want to do to hit, well, first I want to get a little bit closer, so I'll throttle up. There we go, we're within 15 kilometers now. So you want to get your aiming crosshair over the dot in front of the aircraft, and then fire one. Now let's see if that hits. It's looking good. It's looking good. He's evading. That's a hit. Simple. Nice. Now, next up, you've got your short-range heat-seeking missiles. These are dead simple. Just switch over to AIM-9s. Get some distance from these fellas. Now, for heat-seeking missiles, you don't need to bother locking on using the radar or any of that. You just have to have the target in front of you, inside that little green circle. Now, you can probably hear in the background there's a bit of a dull tone there. That's coming from the missile. Once the missile is locked onto a target, that will become a high-pitched tone. There we go. Firing. And that's a hit. Let's go again. Firing. Beautiful. Now, the final air-to-air weapon we're going to talk about, whilst there's still one target left here, wherever he went. There he is. The last weapon we're going to talk about is your 20mm Vulcan. Now, this is pretty simple to aim. I'm just going to lock onto that target using the radar, which you don't have to do, but it helps. Now, you can see there's a bit of a lead indicator with the Vulcan there, and all you have to do is place that circle directly over the target. And that's a kill. Easy. Right, that's air-to-air weapons. Okay, so next up we're going to be talking about anti-tank missiles, specifically the AGM-65, which is your classic ATGM. So in order to use these, we are going to be using the targeting computer. So let's power that on. There you go. Now the best way of doing this, there's a few different ways. You can use head tracking, but I prefer to just use sensor of interest here, again, and then use the thumbstick to aim. Now as you can see, as I aim around with the thumbstick, if I am within the range of the HUD, you can actually see it on HUD. So let's zoom in. I know there should be vehicles approaching this bridge. There we go. There's the convoy. Let's move to the first vehicle there. We're going slightly out of range of the targeting computer. There we go. We're locked. Make sure your larger circle is over the target and fire one. Now these are fire and forget, so you can get lost as soon as you fired. Nice. Vehicle destroyed. Now what fire and forget also means is that you can hit multiple targets simultaneously, so I'll demonstrate that in a moment. Okay, so we've got 2 targets on camera here, well 3. I'm going to lock the first one, and fire. Second one, fire. Third one, fire. Let's see how that does. Perfect. All vehicles destroyed. Right, next up, one of the more complicated weapon types, and that is the GPS-guided bombs. Now, in order to use these, we're going to be switching to the navigation computer. Zoom out a bit, switch that to sensor of interest again, so that you can navigate the screen using the thumbstick. Now, these bombs generally only work against stationary targets, or at least targets that you can predict the movement of. So we're just going to use these against, let's have a look, something easily identifiable. You know what, let's hit the airfield. Specifically, let's hit the number 15 that I know is on the end of the airfield. So once you are hovering over that on the navigation computer, you want to hit send GPS target there. And then if you go to the GPS, that target will now be listed in it, and that'll show up on the HUD as well if we look at the airfield. So let's just turn that way. There we go. So that little green triangle there indicates the target. Now we're a fair way off. So what you have in front of you is a small green targeting circle and a larger green targeting circle. Now, as we approach the target, you'll see a small targeting diamond approach from the top, and you can drop if it's anywhere within the larger circle, but ideally you want to drop within the smaller circle. But if you're in a pinch, then the larger circle is probably okay. Now you'll see at the top of the larger circle there's a little arrow just a bit off to the left. That indicates where the targeting diamond will approach from. So it should come up now. There we go. So it's in the larger circle, and once it enters the smaller one, I'm going to drop now. Alright, let's turn off and get a view. Spot on, dead in the middle of the 15. Okay, next up we're going to be looking at the AGM-88s, which are anti-radar missiles, or anti-radiation missiles, and they work by locking on to enemy radar pings, essentially. So you'll see up here in the RWR, or radar warning system, there are several pings off to the left and one off to the right behind us. Now those are hostile radars that are pinging us. And if we switch to the anti-radar attack display, we will see them in greater detail. Now, from here we're going to go HUD on, and that will show hostile radar targets on our HUD. So there we go, there's one right there, that green diamond. I think there should also be a couple off in those mountains. Yep, 1, 2 over there, perfect. So these are generally indicating either surface-to-air missile sites, enemy radar sites, or possibly incoming fighters that have us locked in their radar. And that is what anti-radiation missiles are mainly for, is for taking out anti-air for the most part. And they're very long range, which is nice. So what we're going to do is switch over to, again, sensor of interest. Use the thumbstick to select a target. There we go, so one of the diamonds is targeted. Going to adjust to head a bit more towards it. And Fox 3. Right, missile away. Nice, that looked good. Let's go and inspect the damage. There we go, the ping's disappeared. That means it worked. Beautiful. Right, let's hit one more target. There we go, there's one out in that plains. We're going to target that, click in with the stick, and fire. Nice, that looks like a hit. Will the target disappear? It has, perfect. Alright, and those are anti-radiation missiles. They're exactly what you want to use when you know you'll be facing lots of surface-to-air missiles. Okay, and finally we're going to be talking about the two different types of dumbfire weapons in the game. First of all, the Unguided Rockets, specifically in the Hydra rocket pods. Now these are very simple. Basically, the rocket will go where the little green circle is. So, one away, and hit the building. Perfect. Right, now there's a few different ways you can fire this. First of all, you can change the salvo mode. So, at the moment it's a salvo of 1, which means when I pull the trigger, it'll fire 1 rocket. Or I can go salvo of 2, salvo of 4. You get the idea. What I can also do is change the ripple mode. So on ripple mode single, no matter how long I hold the trigger, it'll just fire the 1 rocket. However, if I go to ripple mode 400, suddenly, it'll keep firing as I hold the trigger down. And the higher the ripple, I believe it goes up to 1600. Yep, the higher the ripple, the faster they will fire. So this is the maximum ripple. And as you can see, that's a lot of rockets in one go. Okay, and last but not least, dumb bombs. Now, they're very, very simple. Basically, the bomb will go where that circle is, and you want to point the plane where you want the bomb to go. Simple as. And you can be pretty damn accurate with them. So I know there's some vehicles going along this bridge. Let's see if we can find them and bomb them. Ah, there they are. Let's bring the bombs to bear. Aim just a little bit in front of them. And there's a big pillar in the way, so let's try and get around that. There we go, that looked like a decent drop. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let's drop another one on the city. Why not? Let's chuck this one up in the air a bit. There we go. Oh my god, I hit myself. I hit myself with my bomb. Okay. Let's eject. Oh no. Well, that's one way to end the tutorial. I really, genuinely didn't see that coming. But I hope this has been very concise, and I hope it's been of some help to you. Ooh, that's a building. See ya.